Yes, my friends, we are winding down looking at the last handful of Godzilla films that were produced by Toho, and this one is a big one. It came out in 2004 for the 50th anniversary of the Big G, and it is called Godzilla Final Wars. Now, no, you're not seeing double. I did review this film a while back on our channel, but I wanted to revisit it for the Go Godzilla Challenge, and having seen all the Toho Godzilla films before this, I wanted to see if it gave me a little bit of a different perspective, maybe a more appreciation for this film, or less. We'll find out here in a minute. But first, the story. Well, we have the Earth Defense Force, which was formed, and it's a combination of humans and mutants who look like humans, but they have heightened ability, strength, reflexes, everything. They're just like the super next evolutionary step with humans. And they are part of the Earth Defense Force because they make great soldiers. Well, they've been combating monsters across the globe. That is their sole purpose, is defend the humanity against all these big creatures that have shown up. Of course, the biggest one of them all is Godzilla, who actually gets captured and frozen in ice in the Antarctic by the Earth Defense Force. And everybody's like, yay, our troubles are solved, but they're not, because what they soon find is like a rash of gigantic monster attacks across the globe started happening. France, New York, Tokyo, Sydney, all over. Big monsters are showing up, and they're like, we can't handle this all. But they are soon saved by a mysterious spaceship that shows up that ends up just teleporting them all away. Well, we find out these aliens are from Planet X. They're Zalians or X-aliens, however you want to refer to them. And they come to Earth to help us out. They're having trouble on their planet, and they want to be here and help us out and offer us a kind of a treaty with them. They're going to offer us some great deal, great medical breakthroughs, technology breakthroughs. It's just a deal that's too good to be true, and we find out that it is. They have some nefarious plans, and when it is revealed, they unleash the monsters back out on the Earth under their control. Well, the Earth Defense Force decides the only way to finally combat these monsters while also taking on the aliens is to release the big guy himself, Godzilla. And we see how Godzilla goes across the globe destroying monsters as the humans take on these Zalians or X-aliens and get them off of our planet. This film is crazy. It's brought to us by a new director to the Godzilla franchise, Ryuhei Kitamura, and he's directed a lot of Asian action films, and you can tell in here, this is... I have not seen this much kung fu fighting and martial arts and stunt work in the human story of any of the Godzilla films previous to this. This film is kinetic. It's wild. It just keeps moving. It's insane, some of the wire work that they do and some of the fight scenes that they have in here between the humans. And then we do get Big G in here as well, fighting monsters. Though it's his 50th anniversary, it's a 2-hour movie. He gets about, 12 minutes maybe total of screen time? I didn't quite time it out, but I looked it up, and someone clocked it in at about 12 minutes, and that's about right. So that's kind of surprising, and for those of you who complained about the Gareth Edwards film, take that into perspective. Now, when we do get to see Big G, he's looking fantastic. They took all the great elements from the suits in the previous 50 years and put them all together into one suit, where he's lean, he's mean. They made it lighter so the actor, the performer in the suit could actually do a lot more. We actually see Godzilla do some moves in here we hadn't seen before. Drop into a knee and all kinds of things. And the monsters that he takes on are all revamped versions of the classic. The biggest revamp, I think, was Gigan. Holy crap, did they revamp this sucker. He is not goofy looking at all. He is wicked looking, though his fight doesn't last too long. Neither do most of the other monster fights, but the best one and the quickest one, I may have mentioned this in my previous review, is still his fight against Zilla. Yes, that's how it's being referred to. The 98 Ferris Bueller's Day at Jurassic Park version of Godzilla is in the Toho universe and gets annihilated in the quickest monster fight I think I've ever seen. So that's another one of their jabs and statements about that film that bombed horribly at the box office. As far as the rest of the fight scenes go, I liked them. I liked the revamped creatures. We get to see new abilities of these creatures, and Yeah, our girl Mothra is back, and she's actually an ally of Godzilla. Something that hasn't happened since Destroy All Monsters back in 1968. So it's great to see these two team up again, and Mothra is looking spiffy as hell as well. If you don't get, as far as the human storyline goes, if you don't see the Matrix references in here, you haven't watched the Matrix films, because it is totally in here, complete with our hero Shinichi Ozaka, who is one of the mutant played by Mashiro Matsuoka, who does fantastic, by the way. So his work in martial arts is amazing, and he gets to have a Neo moment in here. You know, we've got a character who's a main character who's a Westerner played by Don Fry, Douglas Gordon, who's this big burly guy who you'd think would be in the bar with a 10-gallon hat down in whiskey, walking around with a katana. You know, we've got some classic actors from previous Godzilla films in here, including Akira Takarada. Kenji Sahara shows up in here again. Oh, Kenji. And Kumi Mizuno also shows up. So we get some familiar faces back as well. It's an all-out, crazy, kinetic, wild film that definitely is different than the other films, but still has that spirit of the Godzilla films. And I think it was a worthy send-up to the Godzilla franchise for their 50th anniversary, though we do have to put up with Manila as well. Yes, baby Godzilla, son of Godzilla, shows up in here for some scenes, and in fact, he plays a key role in the very end. We do have a kid in here as well who plays a role, because it wouldn't be the 50th anniversary if we don't acknowledge even those films of the Godzilla franchise. And we still get Godzilla's classic roar, which still, to this day, it raises the hairs on my arm. So, overall, Godzilla Final Wars, yes, it's still a worthy send-up. It still lasts. I still enjoy this as much as the first time I watched it, and I think you will too if you're a Godzilla fan. So if you have seen this, please leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this wild 50th anniversary film. Please check out our Patreon if you haven't already. I thank you for your support, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.